So if you've been watching the channel for some time now, you know that I love the Remarkable devices, and currently the Remarkable Paper Pro is my device of choice. And the great part about Remarkable's ecosystem is that once you're done creating on the device, whether that's text, typing, sketching, what have you, you can export that file out into a PDF, and you can email it and send it to yourself, and you can use it to share with friends or further adjust on your desktop device, whatever you please. But the Remarkable is a little bit limited in terms of its capabilities. Yes, you can add text and you can type and you can draw, sketch. Now you can do color on the new Paper Pro version of the device, but there is a lot of functionality that is still missing where you would probably want a traditional PDF editor to come in and fill that gap for you. And that's where the software that we're going to be talking about today, UPDF, comes into play. So I have a document from my Remarkable Paper Pro that I've gone ahead, I've exported, emailed it to myself, and here it is opened in Preview, which is the standalone app on macOS for viewing PDFs. Now, what I can do from this app is super limited. So that's where you would typically see something like Adobe's Acrobat. That's going to allow you to edit and manipulate the PDF. So how does it all tie in? Well, UPDF is a replacement for Adobe's Acrobat, but it's got a heck of a lot of other functionality going on inside of it that really sets it apart. Let's switch over to my MacBook and we'll dive into the software and we'll look at this a bit more in detail together. All right, so as you can see, I've gone ahead, I've opened the document in UPDF. So it looks a little bit different. Immediately, the editing tools and functionalities are visible right along the top of this screen here. But UPDF doesn't just offer the standard editing tools that you would see on, say, Acrobat. It's got a couple of things that really go ahead and set it apart. So first, the big differentiator between UPDF and Adobe Acrobat is pricing. If you're not familiar with Adobe's suite of products, it's very, very expensive to own and operate and license them because they run on a bundled style subscription model. So every month you've got to pay at least probably $30, I believe, to have access to the suite. Depending on the feature set that you're interested in, UPDF can get a heck of a lot cheaper than that. So be sure to check them out at the link at the top of the description below to get your quote on switching to UPDF. The second big difference between UPDF and Acrobat is it's integrated with GPT-4o, which means it has AI capabilities built in to the editor that Adobe has not even come close to doing with Acrobat. This gives you a lot of power and a lot of capability in a very affordable package. And the third big differentiating feature, at least for me, is that UPDF runs incredibly fast. I don't know about you guys, but I find Acrobat is a little bit chunky, a little bit slow, even on my M2 chip MacBook. So I don't know if that's just a software limitation, but UPDF is way faster and way more efficient to do my editing in. Here we are on my Mac. You can see what this document looks like in here versus in Preview. So you can immediately see the editing tools all along the top of this screen here. And while this PDF is more or less okay, and you can pretty much get the gist of what you're trying to see here, basically this is performance by business channel, YouTube ads, affiliate sales and sponsorships, 24 versus 23. You can see YouTube ads is down. That's why it's highlighted in orange. Sales from affiliates are up, which is why it's green. And sponsorships are the same, so it's a yellow. Now, this is all pretty clear cut, but again, because the Remarkable is lacking a few tools in the software, there's a few things missing from this PDF that would really take it to the next level and make it way easier to understand the data. So first, let's do some really easy adjustments. I want to add a shape. I want to add a dividing line between the title and the first section of content. So I'll grab my line tool. There's a bunch of different shapes, not just a line, but square, circle, arrow, etc. And choose my color, set it to 2-point, and I'll just go ahead and drag. And I can hold Shift to make a perfectly straight line. Then I'll just use my arrow keys to move it into position. All right, that immediately looks better. Now, well, it's very clear to me what this PDF represents because I built it and I did the highlighting. I know that orange represents a decrease, green is an increase, and yellow is a stagnant or no change element. It might not be that clear to the people who might view this PDF. So I'm going to use the summary tool in UPDF powered by AI to summarize this report and give me a much more clear outline that I can then add as text into my report. So I'll just quickly switch over to UPDF AI, which is at the bottom right-hand corner of the app. It has summarized the document for us. Very easy, very quick. There is also a chat prompt, so you can do some other things like translations and explanations and writing, but it can't directly access the PDF document that way. But the Ask PDF option, which is where the summary came from, did that for me. So I'm going to take this summary, copy it, and then in here, I'm going to just double tap to create a text box, and I'm going to paste. And there you go. Now we have the summary in our document, and I'll go ahead and save that again. And as you can see, this is extremely fast. There's like no lag. Everything's operating extremely rapidly. Just as I mentioned, performance is fantastic on this product. You can also take the summaries and convert them into mind maps, which is super cool, and essentially bullet points and groups each of the changes together in a really cool way. You can visualize it, which I'll do right here. So this is really cool. You've got the full flow through in a chart form, basically, and a graph of the data presented in the PDF. I can go ahead and I can either save it, either to an image or PDF, or I can share it, which is pretty cool. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to Markdown, and that's going to show me actually like in bullet point text, the comparative data points, which is really cool. So we could put that into the document in bullet if we wanted to make the summary that we added here in the bottom a little bit more clear. But for the purpose of this exercise, I'm just going to leave it as is. But it is great that you're able to do that in a more complex document. You would absolutely need something like that. Now, just like in any other PDF editor, I have a full suite of editing tools, and it actually goes a little bit further than what you'd find in Acrobat or other tools like that. So you've got everything from highlighting, strike throughs, underlines, squiggly lines. You can do text comments, callouts, and call-out boxes. You've got a drawing tool, like a freeform drawing tool. You've got an eraser tool, which is really cool. And of course, that shape tool, which I already talked about and used. You've also got stickers built right in, so you can grab like an illustration and drag it right into your document to make it just a little bit more customized and tailored to your brand, for example. And there are a ton, absolute ton of examples in here, a bunch of different shapes, sizes, styles, motifs, whatever you might be looking for. The sky's the limit here. Same thing, there's also a stamping tool. So if you're maybe in a bit of a more old school business where you still print and sign and approve things, you can mark this document as approved and you can send it right off without having to print it first and use a real rubber stamp. This will definitely save you some paper and save a few trees in the process. And of course, just like being able to stamp it, you can sign the document right in here as well. So I've gone ahead, added some styling to the document. I've added a summary of the document contents. The last thing I think it needs is a legend because it's not super clear without reading that summary at the bottom what those highlights mean. So I'm going to create one of those now right here in UPDF. And to make sure that I match the fill colors on these boxes perfectly, I'm going to use the eyedropper tool here, which is built in to select the right color. So that's really cool. And it's as easy as that. So I'm going to go ahead and color them now, and then I'm going to add some text boxes explaining them, and then this PDF should hopefully be ready to go. There we have it. We have our updated, refined document. So we've got our legend on the side here, which we could easily select all of that and move the position if we wanted to. We have all of our breakdown of information, and we have our summary at the bottom. If we really want to take it to the next level, we can go and use the background adjustment tool. We can add a background color, probably not something this funky, but maybe something just a little bit like this. You can add an image if you want, which might be a bit much, but the sky is the limit. We'll go ahead and save that. You can watermark your document if you wish. And of course, headers and footers, just as you would with other PDFs. Great implementation. Everything you could possibly need is right here built into the tool. And when you're all set and you're ready to go, of course, UPDF also offers cloud sharing and cloud link generation for sharing your documents. And if you do want to go cross-device, UPDF operates on Android, iOS, macOS, and Windows. So you can take your documents wherever you are on whatever platform you might be on, but you can always have UPDF and the capabilities of it with you on the go. So that's been a brief look at UPDF and how it works and what you can do to take your PDFs to the next level using the tools built into it. If you want to learn more, again, get your pricing quote to see what it would be like to switch over from Acrobat to UPDF, or just see a few more example use cases of this software, click the link down at the top of the video description to learn more. And let me know what you guys think about this software, if you think it's a pretty cool alternative to the big players out there. And if you've heard of it or used it before, and if you had a good experience, let's have a conversation as always down in the comments below. Thank you to UPDF for sponsoring this video, and we'll see you guys again soon in the next one.